Hey guys, Steve Welch here with Beaman Toyota in Nashville. So I wanted to answer a question that I get a lot from a lot of people, and it's not always the same question, but it's the same answer. So when you get a new Toyota, or even certain used Toyotas, you have something on there called connected services. What's connected services, right? And I've had some arguments with people. I've had some discussions with people about what they are, what you get, what you don't get. Let's just kind of let's try to tame this just a little bit, so that hopefully we can all be on the same page, and I can try to answer these questions the way that makes sense. So the main connected services that Toyota has is Safety Connect, Service Connect, you have Remote Connect, and you have Wi-Fi Connect. Those are the main ones that people normally talk about. When some people talk about the 4 connected services, it's there. Now, you can kind of caveat that saying, look, you also have Drive Connect now. You also have the music program. There's a couple of different variations to that. I'm going to try to make this easy, and I'm going to show you a chart. So if you pay attention till the end, if you want to look at the end, I'm going to show you a chart, at least on 25s. You'll be able to see everything that every vehicle has as standard and how long your trial is. So just you know, watch for that for the end. And I appreciate you guys, and if this helped you, please subscribe. It's huge for me if you guys would do that. So what I want to talk about, so what is Safety Connect? Safety Connect is that SOS button that's on the very top, right? It's right by your rearview mirror in most cases, right? So what Safety Connect is it actually, you can hit the button, you can get roadside assistance, police, fire, ambulance, whatever you need. If you have a hard enough impact with anything, that will actually self-call. So if it sees that there's been an issue, it'll call by itself. But if there's, you know, something where you need to hit the button, you can obviously hit the button. The question on that is, so now it's how long do you get it? How much does it cost, right? Well, got a little jet going overhead there. So the how long do you get it, or how much does it cost? There's an answer to it, but I need to explain a little bit. So when it first came out, that system, you got it free for a year, and then after that you had to pay for it, right? That has changed. So the SOS, the safety button, so it's switched where it's either the 1 year or it's now 10 years. So the vast majority of what you see is going to have a 10-year trial, let's call it, right? Free trial on that system, as long as the 4G system's up, right? So you have 10 years included on your SOS button, as long as it's, what I think within the last 3 years, I want to say, possibly 4 years, model years in most cases. There are some out there that still came with a 1-year trial, all right? So that's the Safety Connect, right? So most times, in most cases, it's going to have a 10-year trial on the Safety Connect. What seems to be the case in most cases is whatever you have for a trial in the Safety Connect, you also have for a trial in the Service Connect. What's Service Connect? Well, Service Connect allows the dealership to send you messages. If your vehicle comes up and it has a check engine light on it, the service department can reach out to you saying, hey, looks like you have a check engine light. This is likely the issue. When would you like to bring it in? We can schedule that service for you. They'll call you directly based off of you having a service light on, or check engine light, or a service do light on your dash. Save you some time, save all that. It's just an easier way to go. That's usually free for about 10 years as well. Like I said, it was also a 1 year back in the past there, but everything that's really coming out now, I don't think there's anything that comes out now that doesn't have it 10 years. If there is, I'm sure somebody will put it in the comments, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So don't you know, beat me over the head if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that there's nothing out now that doesn't have the 10 year. Right, so Wi-Fi, that's one of those that's kind of jumped around. All right, so Wi-Fi, when it first came out, was 3 months or 2 gigs. So you had free for 3 months or 2 gigs. It originally came out, you had to sign up through Verizon in order to get the Wi-Fi Connect. That's changed to AT&T now. You also had to not, there were at one point it went, you know, like the Prius had 3 gigs in 3 months. Then you had, now, there's just a bunch of variants that's gone through. What it's currently, you get, but you get, I like them, right? So you get, now it's 1 month free and 3 gigs. Now it's like, okay, well, why would you not have 3 months free? Realistically, if you use any data at all, you're going to use 3 gigs pretty quick. And a lot of times people will be like, well, I don't need the Wi-Fi Connect, I'll just use my phone. That's fine. Wi-Fi Connect, you need to buy a phone line more or less for your car. All right, that's how the Wi-Fi Connect works. Now you buy it through AT&T. I've had people say before, well, I have Verizon, can I just buy it through them? No, unless you were, when it first came out, I want to say it's probably what, 2018, something like that. When it first came out, you could, that was Verizon, but you couldn't buy it through one of the other plans. Can you get it through one of these like Mint Wireless or something like that? No, you have to go through that carrier. So it's always through AT&T. Realistically, like I said, a lot of people just use their Wi-Fi on their phones if they really need to use that. It's a thing you can get on your vehicle if you want to get it, but the timing, and like I said, I'll show you on the chart what I'm talking about, but the timing's there. I do want to mention too that currently Sirius Satellite is on every Toyota. So every Toyota will give you a 3-month trial of Sirius Satellite Radio. So if you like Sirius, and it's the full version, the platinum version, it's you know, you can even use it on your phone for those first 3 months. It's a really cool feature, but that's on all Toyotas for the first 3 months. After that, guess what? You can buy it if you want to, right? All that to get to the one that has the biggest arguments of anything. All right, the biggest arguments of anything is remote connect. All right, so and I've had those arguments, right? So when all these things first came out, right, you could get, so they had a map system when it first came out that was the integrated map, right? It was an upgraded map system that you could buy. It was $8 a month or $80 a year for the map. Then they had the remote connect system that was $8 a year or $80 for, or sorry, $8 a month or $80 for the year on remote connect, right? And you could buy that one. And then they had, I forgot what the other one was, but there was another one that was $8 a month or $80 a year. I'll put it on the bottom of the screen if I remember what it was. But so you had those 3 that you could buy, right? Well, so what Toyota ended up doing was they kind of put them into packages, all right? So what the packages now are is that you can do the Music Lovers program, which is $15 a month. You get your Apple or your Alexa Music paired with Remote Connect. That's $15 a month, right? So you get 2 now for $15 instead of 2 for 8 or 2 for 16, $8 a piece, right? Then you could do the Drive Connect system, which is the new navigation system, which will cost you $15 a month, and you get Remote Connect for free. Or you can do both the music package and the Drive Connect package, which will also include Remote Connect, and it's $25, that's per month, right? That's how Toyota's currently doing it for those. So if you want Remote Connect, you can't just say, I just want Remote Connect. You have to buy one of the other packages to get Remote Connect. So it's, there's a bit of an argument we've had on that one too about whether or not Remote Connect's technically free. I've heard it placed before that when you buy one of those other ones, the Remote Connect's free. But if you go back to the $8 a month, you go, well, technically you're paying for it, but you get a $1 discount, but you have to buy one of the, okay. There's our argument, right? There's part of the argument, right? I'm not gonna get into that argument. What I will get into is there's a lot of people that talk, so the Remote Connect allows you to use an app-based system to start your car, stop your car, unlock it, lock it, find out where you parked it, how much fuel you have left. Some things like the Camry, you can adjust how hot the air is blowing, things like that. Not all the vehicles have that, like my Tundra doesn't have that. You can flash the hazard lights on all of them pretty much. You can find out the last spot that you parked. There's a lot of stuff, all your books and stuff like that. You can find out a lot of stuff within the Remote Connect enabled part of the app, right? You can find out tire pressures, check engine lights, if there's any issues there, maintenance that's upcoming. You can find out there's just a lot of stuff you can find out with the app, right? Well, you get that free for the first year. All right, so that's free for the first year. After that, like I said, you got to buy one of those packages, right? Well, you can also take your key fob. What do you got? Oh, another little plane. Little ones are coming in today. Anyway, but you can take your key fob and press lock, and hold the lock button, right? So if I pull out my key here, right, like on my Tundra, right? If you go to the lock button and you go lock, hold the lock button for 3 seconds, right? You have to do it within 1.5 seconds of each one, right? And I've showed people, look at my remote connect videos on how to do it. And there's a few caveats. You can't have a key in the car. You can't have a person in the car. Can't have below an 1/8 tank of gas. Doors can't be unlocked. There's a lot of things that will make remote connect not work. There's reasons for that, of course. But if you use your key fob, you can start it, or you can start it from your phone. After that year, right? And this is where the arguments start coming in from people. After that year, they will shut off the app access, right? But the key access for using your fob will remain. You can still start your car with your key fob for up to 10 years. And I'm using up to here. I'm going to kind of go back, and I want to caveat that. I'm going to come back to that here in a minute. But up to 10 years, 4G dependent. All right. So lock, and hold your lock button. You can still start it. So even if you choose not to subscribe to the remote connect system, you can still use your key to start your car. Well, there's a lot of people arguing out there that they're shutting off the app access, and I paid for that. And that's part of my car, and I paid for that. Realize the app access is something that has a cost to it. That's an ongoing cost, that if you want the app access, to give it to you for a year, you'll pay for it after that. But the key fob, you're still going to do that. You'll have that access, right? But here's the other side of that, and this is why I'm going to kind of caveat with the 10-year thing. So the lock, hold the lock button. A lot of people think that that's connecting straight to a module within the vehicle, and that's how it's starting. It doesn't. When you do it, your lights are actually going to flash on the front of the car, and it'll flash, and you'll see there might be 10 to 15 seconds that the car doesn't start right away. It's not like lock, hold the lock button, fires right up. It's going to start flashing, and it's going to start, but it has to communicate through the cloud to make sure that the car has the ability to start. So basically, it has to get authorization through the cloud to start. Now, Toyota could charge for that little signal, right? They don't, at least not yet, right? They don't, right? But there's a certain amount of time that they'll let that stay. And like I said, it's 4G dependent. If everything, if 4G system was to go down, it wouldn't work, right? But it still uses the cloud to confirm that the car can start, right? This is how it's been explained to me. That's how I'm explaining it to you. So it still confirms with the cloud that the car can start, and then the car will start. So there's some people saying that should never shut off. I have the module on it. I bought it. It's equipment that's on my car. It's all this. I've heard all of those arguments. And keep in mind, as somebody that's paid for connected services, I would like to have it to where it would be the old way, where you don't have to pay for nothing. But I understand we're kind of going that way, right? Now, we're kind of, if we go back in time, remember I told you about how like you go in like the safety connect, you had a year free, now it's 10 years. The service connect was about the same thing. You kind of go back in time and things were different, right? Well, what's happening right now is the 3-year-old cars, a lot of times people are going, look, I was able to use my key fob, and now I can no longer use my key fob. Well, if you go back in time in the remote connect system, it had a 3-year trial, a 3-year capability after the remote connect system gave you. So it gave you 1 year free, and then 3 years after that you could use your key fob, and then it would shut off, right? So if you bought a used car that was a year old, you bought it 2 years ago, your key fob's been working this whole time, and you're going, man, it just shut off, it hasn't been working, and you're bringing it into service or something like that, it's not working because that particular system, and I don't know if it's something with the module, I don't know if it's something with the head unit, I don't know the why. Don't ask me the why, that's not important. But I do know the what, right? Is that after 3 years in some of those older cars. And if you have a particular vehicle and you want to email me at buyatoyotanashville@yahoo.com, I'll look up your year and I'll tell you exactly how long that would be. But chances are, if you're having the issue, that's why. It's your 3 years in from the original in-service date, and it shut off that particular part of the module. Can you get it back? Sure, you got to buy the app. But here's the good part of that. You get to buy the app access at the $8 a month or the $80 a year, at least as of the time I'm making this video. That's still what you can do. So if you had the system that shut off after 3 years, you still have the old prices, because that's what it was when that car was sold, right? But if you got the 10-year capability, that's where the 15 bucks is, right? So that's where all these arguments are coming in. People are like, look, it's on my car, I've paid for it, it's equipment that's on my car. Okay, another small one, that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna kind of argue with something just a little bit here, and I know it's gonna ruffle some feathers, but that's okay, right? Because we're here for a conversation, right? And I'm just trying to give you answers, not necessarily argue with you, but give you the answers to the question that so many people ask, right? So my vehicle that I bought, my wife's car, right? It's a 2018 Highlander. I paid, it was right around $1,000 to have remote start. Now her car, it'll have remote start as long as the day is long, or as long as the year is long, right? It's gonna keep having remote start because I paid for a separate module that was installed on the vehicle to receive that. I go lock, hold the lock button, it flashes twice and starts the car, right? It's a really fast system because it's directly within the vehicle. It was built that way, and I paid, like I said, an extra $1,000 to have that module installed right in that car, right? So not everybody has done that, right? So I paid an extra $1,000 to have that installed in the car. If you look at these new cars now, any of the window stickers, it doesn't say that you paid for a remote start module. So they stopped charging that $1,000 plus for the remote start module. So if you consider it, at least the way I've considered it, like with my truck or that, all right, so if I paid $1,000, right, all right, now let's add it up over, you know, because you're getting something else, but let's just say it's the $15 a month. Well, you've got several years worth. There's a jet, there's Southwest. But you got several years worth now that you can have. I mean, okay, so if you were to have paid 15 bucks a month, if you do the math on it, that's about 66 months that you would have to pay to have paid that $1,000, right? Over the course of that 66 months. Well, your average person owns their car 3 to 5 years, right? Well, 60 months is 5 years. So realistically, if you're that average person that owns your car that long, right, and you got the first year free, right, by the time you got rid of your car, it's actually saved you money. Because Toyota didn't charge you that $1,000 that they charged me on my 18 Highlander to enable remote start. And I didn't have app access. I still don't have the app access on my 18, right? So realistically speaking, the argument that it's equipment that's on my vehicle that I paid for, I understand the sentiment. I definitely understand the sentiment. But I will tell you this way is that, well, let's think about it this way. Let's say that you could go, all right, I'm not paying a dime for the remote connect. I'm gonna get somebody to install remote start in this car because I didn't, you know, I didn't pay for it up front. It wasn't on the window sticker. It wasn't an option on the window sticker. I didn't pay for it up front. So I'm gonna go and pay somebody to install it. It's gonna cost you $1,000. Well, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can pay, and here's something else too. If you only want it when it's hot, you only want it when it's cold, pay for the remote connect when you want it, shut it off when you don't. You could do that too. So like I said, that's the biggest point of contention that people have is I paid for it, they're gonna shut it off. I had somebody else that says, look, they're gonna make it where you have to pay for air conditioning, cruise control, and you got to pay to remotely unlock your doors with your key fob, and they're gonna shut off your key fob if they don't. They're not doing any of that. That's kind of going a little bit nuts on that, I think. But I do know that BMW was doing a thing where they were going to make you pay for your heated seats. And people are like, well, that's in the car already. And I agree with that. The switch is in the car. You turn on the switch, there's nothing else to it. It should be, it's a wire, right? And they're gonna make you pay for the heated seat. I think that's a little much. But to use an app to remotely start, stop, unlock your car from anywhere in the world with a Wi-Fi signal, as long as your vehicle has a signal, that's pretty cool, I think. This is me, but I think that's pretty cool, right? But I understand that I understand the thing too, where people go, I bought a car and now I got to keep paying for it. So even though I paid cash, I'm still paying $15 a month. I'm still paying $25 a month, even if I paid cash for my car. Yep. And pretty much every manufacturer is going to it. But I just want to explain the other side of it. And I'm not, like I said, these are my opinions, of course. I'm not trying to, get into a fight with anybody. I'm just trying to do an explanation of what it is and why the remote connect is the way it is, and hopefully help you to understand why it's not considered a part of your car that way, or some kind of a module or something like that that's on your car. It's really not. It's your car has the ability to start if it gets a signal from somewhere else. You're basically paying for the signal, is really what it is, right? So just trying to give you guys that information. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go through and I'm going to show you and just I'll put them on the screen for a little bit here and a little bit there, and just for pause it when you get to yours if you're looking for what yours is. This is going to be the 25s, and I'll put those on the screen there, and you can kind of go through and they'll be in alphabetical order, I believe is what they are. But that's from Toyota. It shows what it's got and what's on your vehicle. So hopefully I've helped you guys. I'm trying to eliminate some of the confusion. Like I said, don't yell at me for it. I understand there's people that are really upset that about it, and it can be an argument, but I'm trying to answer the question in a way that makes sense, that hopefully won't be argumentative with me. I understand, like I said, that people are getting upset that there's more nickel and diamond with everything, but if you look at all the streaming services, and I mean, you gotta pay for the Paramount Plus or the Disney or the whatever, and you're going, look, everything's got an app, and then if I want to watch the football game, it's on this app, or it's on the Amazon, or it's on the Peacock, or it's on the whatever, and I just wanted to watch a football game, and I already buy a cable service, and I can't watch it because I want to watch it, and you're getting frustrated. I'm there with you guys. I'm so frustrated with everything that you got a nickel and dime for and buy it. I'm there with you guys, but I'm trying to explain the why and the what of what this is, and why it's this way, and why it hopefully makes sense. So trying to answer the questions. I'm sure you guys will freaking hammer me in the comments, but I'm trying to answer the questions in the way that I know to answer them. So hopefully you guys can be a little nice and subscribe there, but I'm going to go ahead and put it, what connected services there are, how long they last, what standard on what car. That's coming right now. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.